Hello, welcome to this mini series on making sure if your estate plan is actually a plan. So today we're going to cover kids in your plan, right? Are these things in your estate plan? Because if they're not, then you don't really have a plan that's going to actually take care of the people that you love when something happens to you. And it will happen to you. It happens to all of us. It's a natural part of life. So let's talk about it. Number one, do you have guardians for your children named in your will? Not just one guardian, but at least a guardian and two other alternatives, right? Carefully think through who are the alternatives that you'd like to be taking care of your children when something happens to you. Next, if a couple is specified in your will, is it clearly laying out, like, what if they get divorced? Which one of those people in the couple arrangements that you'd like to be guardians for your kids are the ones that you'd like to continue to be guardians for your kids? Is that addressed there? Next, let's talk about guardians named outside of your will. Do you have nominations outside of your will? So if you become incapacitated, you can have somebody take care of your children, because guess what? You don't just need somebody to take care of your kids if you're deceased. You also need it to happen if you are injured or hurt in a way that you are not physically able or mentally able to take care of your kids. Are there instructions for guardians? Meaning, do your guardians know how you want your children raised? Do you have that? Have you addressed that? Or five actually, letters to guardians, right? Do you have letters telling your guardians how they're going to do the things that they need to do if something happens to you? Do they have anybody that's going to guide them through this process? 6, temporary guardians. Do you have somebody legally designated that could take in your kids if something happens to you and you're in an emergency before your permanent guardians can come in and show up? Do you have temporary guardians, right? Okay. Do you carry IDs in your wallets that let people know, emergency medical services know who to contact if you're hurt, that also let them know that you have kids? Are you missing that, or is that in your plan? Do you have letters to your temporary guardians, right, with the legal documents that they need to be able to take charge of your kids if something happens to you? Do you have babysitter instructions? Does your babysitter know who to call in case of emergency if they can't find you or locate you? Do you have confidential exclusions? Meaning, do you have something set aside, carefully put away, so that a court, in the event that something happens to you, can know who should never be in charge of your kids? Because that's probably just as important, if not more important, right? Do you have a medical power attorney for your kids? Can somebody make legal decisions for your kids if you're unable to be there? Can somebody go and take them to the hospital, take them to go to the doctor, make those decisions for you? And finally, do you know if you have the correct people named, right? Are the people that you have named there people that you'd like to raise your children? Not just people that are your relatives, but people that truly understand the way that you want to raise your kids, that have similar values. Are you having this discussion when you're creating these documents? This is how we help families out with real estate planning.